Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're taking a focused look at Rocket Lab. We've gathered some recent reports, analysis, really trying to synthesize it for you.
That's the plan.
Yeah, unpack what's important, look at the opportunities, the risks, give you the bigger picture without getting bogged down in, excessive jargon.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are they really disrupting things? Can they keep up this growth while also tackling something as big as the Neutron rocket?
It's a good question. They started back in 2006, right? Based out in Long Beach.
California, yeah.
And their whole aim seems to be full service space, end to end.
Right, not just launches.
No, building satellites, managing them once they're up there.
Yeah.
The whole package. They've got launch pads in New Zealand and one in Virginia, too.
And Electron's their current workhorse.
That's right, for the smaller satellites. But yeah, Neutron, their bigger rocket that's under development, that's clearly a huge part of their future strategy. Targeting bigger missions, government work, national security included.
Okay, so let's talk numbers. How did things look financially in the first quarter of 2025?
Well, Q1 was interesting. You saw revenue come in at $122.6 million.
Okay.
Which is a pretty solid 32.1% jump compared to the same time last year. So good year-over-year growth.
That sounds strong.
It is. But if you look quarter over quarter, so compared to Q4 of 2024, it was actually down about 7.4%.
Oh, okay. Why the dip then?
It seems like it was mainly down to doing more launches with Electron that maybe had lower price points and also some shifts in when revenue from satellite manufacturing actually hit the books.
Something to keep an eye on then.
Definitely. Could be market stuff, could be strategic choices internally.
But even with that sequential dip, were they still launching frequently?
Oh, absolutely. 5 successful Electron launches in Q1.
5, okay.
And get this, they managed to turn around 3 of those launches in just 13 days.
13 days, wow.
Yeah, it really speaks to strong demand, sure, but also their operational capability. They can move fast.
So how did the market take all this news? What was the stock doing, and what's the general feeling among analysts and investors?
Right. So May 8th, earnings day, the stock actually closed up 3.63% at $22.29.
Okay, so positive initially.
Yeah, though it did dip a tiny bit in after-hours trading. But looking back over the year leading up to the report, that strong revenue growth was definitely a positive factor people were seeing.
And the analysts?
Kind of mixed, actually. You've got some who are a bit cautious, maybe focusing on that quarter-over-quarter dip or wanting to see more on profitability.
Makes sense.
But others are, more optimistic. A lot of that hinges on Neutron and the potential of their wider space services.
And what about investors talking amongst themselves?
Similar story, really. Lots of excitement about Neutron's long-term potential, but balanced with, the usual concerns about market swings and competition.
Neutron keeps popping up. It sounds critical. What's the latest there?
It really is central to their story right now. They're making good progress, apparently. Still aiming for a first launch sometime this year, 2025.
That's soon.
It is ambitious. And a really big deal, Neutron got added to the National Security Space Launch Program, the NSSL.
Okay, what does that mean practically?
It's huge validation, puts them on the list for potentially $5.6 billion in this phase of government launch contracts. Think long-term, stable revenue potential.
So serious credibility boost.
Absolutely. And they've also got a partnership with the U.S. Air Force for a specific Neutron reentry mission. So yeah, for anyone watching Rocket Lab, Neutron hitting its milestones is probably the key catalyst.
Got it. Now, there's also news about them reorganizing into a holding company. What's that about?
Yeah, they announced that effective around June 1st. It's a pretty common corporate structure move.
Why do it?
Usually it's about efficiency. It lets you separate different parts of the business, like launch services versus satellite building under one parent company, can make management more focused, resource allocation cleaner, maybe easier to raise capital for specific divisions down the line.
So potentially makes them more agile.
That's often the goal, yeah. Streamlining things.
Okay, let's go ahead and zoom out. Strengths and weaknesses, or maybe red flags. What stands out?
Strengths. Well, Electron's performance in Q1 was perfect, 100% mission success. That reliability is key.
Can't argue with perfect.
Right. And that rapid launch cadence we talked about, that's a real strength. Plus, the strong year-over-year revenue growth, definitely a positive. And strategic partnerships, like the Air Force one for Neutron, add a lot of weight.
Okay, and on the other side, concerns.
That sequential revenue dip, the -7%, you have to pay attention to that. Could signal pricing pressure, maybe competition heating up, or just program timing. And also, while the top-line revenue growth is impressive, the reports didn't give a super detailed picture of profitability. So, with all the money they're pouring into R&D for Neutron, you do wonder about the bottom line health right now.
Right, growth is great, but eventually it needs to translate.
Mm-hmm.
How do they fit into the whole space industry picture? It feels crowded sometimes.
It's definitely dynamic, and the potential is massive, right?
Yeah.
Some projections say the space economy could hit like $1.8 trillion by 2035. Wow.
So huge opportunities. But yeah, competition is fierce. You've got the giant SpaceX dominating heavy lift with Starlink. Blue Origin is a major force developing New Glenn. Then you have others like Astrospace in the small launch area too.
So where does Rocket Lab sit in all that?
They've carved out a really strong niche with Electron. It's actually the second most frequently launched U.S. rocket each year.
Second most.
Yeah. And the whole point of Neutron is to let them step up
Yeah.
and compete more directly with the bigger launch providers, handling heavier payloads.
Looking ahead then, what are the key things for you as an observer to watch, and what are the big hurdles they might face?
Number one is Neutron's first flight. That's the big one for this year. Success there would be huge.
Yet if it slips.
Delays are always a risk in aerospace. It could impact sentiment, timelines. Also need to watch the continued growth in satellite manufacturing.
Okay.
Risk.
Regulation is always a factor. Changes to launch approvals, export controls, that kind of thing. And competition, especially from SpaceX, is just a constant pressure. Can they grab enough market share?
And that holding company move?
Need to see if it actually delivers on the promise of streamlining things and creating value. Execution matters there.
Let's circle back to financials for a moment. Any other details jump out from the reports beyond that top-line revenue?
Well, looking over the last 12 months, that revenue growth was really strong, 78.3%.
Very high growth.
But for Q1 specifically, they reported an earnings per share loss of $0.12. That was actually a miss by about $0.02 compared to what analysts expected.
So still losing money on a per-share basis.
Correct. Which means a standard PE ratio doesn't really apply. Investors would probably look more at price to sales, PS, to compare valuations with similar growth companies.
Right. Any word on debt?
These specific reports didn't detail the debt-to-equity ratio, but given the big investments, especially in Neutron, that's definitely something you'd want to track in their full financial filings.
Okay. Anything else? There was some mention of selling activity by both insiders and short sellers recently. It's just a data point, but something to be aware of, a trend to maybe watch.
So, boiling it down,
Oh.
competitive advantages versus challenges. What's their edge, and what are the biggest obstacles?
The edge right now is clearly Electron. Reliable, frequent, cost-effective for small sats. That's their proving ground,
Their bread and butter for now.
pretty much. And Neutron represents the potential future edge, getting them into that bigger payload market. The challenges, well, competing with giants like SpaceX is tough. They have deep pockets and just the inherent risks of developing complex new tech like Neutron. Plus, navigating the whole regulatory landscape for space. It's not simple.
Okay, so wrapping this up. Looking at Rocket Lab, you see a company with genuinely impressive growth on the top line. They've proven they can launch reliably with Electron. And they have this very ambitious plan with Neutron.
Right. A lot hinges on that, definitely. The latest earnings gave us, well, a mixed picture, didn't it? Strong year over year, but that slight dip, quarter over quarter, raises questions.
Yeah, context is important there.
So for you, following this, the core story seems to be balancing that potential hard. The huge space economy, Neutron's promise against the execution risks and the intense competition.
That sums it up pretty well.
Keep an eye on those Neutron test flights, obviously, and the upcoming earnings reports. The big questions remain. What impact will Neutron really have if and when it flies successfully? How will it change their competitive position?
And will that reorganization actually make them more efficient?
Exactly. Those are the things to think about as you continue to follow Rocket Lab. If you found this exploration helpful, we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe, maybe like this session, and definitely drop a comment with your own thoughts or any other questions this discussion brought up for you.